No one pays much attention to the ordinary until they restore democracy, feed the hungry, save the seas, or protect the dignity of a people. For how can one see greatness in the unassuming, the soft-spoken, the frail, or the humble, if it's measured by the usual yardstick of success? The man whose name now bears Asia's most prestigious award seemed ordinary by all means, except that even as a mechanic, he already had the sense to improve the lives of his fellow men. What is it about ordinary men and women who turn their back on a comfortable life so they can clean up oceans and light up villages? How can they know that what they fight for will make governments sit up and listen? What moves these ordinary people to do extraordinary things? It's called greatness of spirit. It is celebrated every 31st of August by the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation as a fitting homage to the legacy of the Philippine president who was once called Man of the Masses. He believed that the little man is entitled to a little bit more of everything, and that no one's dignity should ever be compromised. Today, over 300 ordinary men and women have displayed the same conviction and courage to transform society, and thus have been honored with the Ramon Magsaysay Award. For protecting fundamental human rights, for encouraging the poor to become asset creators, or for just playing music that colors the mind. And while the award can boost ordinary men and women to celebrity, many of the winners use it to enable them to work much harder for the communities they serve, because they know that the award is not about them, but about the solutions they make. That's how ordinary men and women become extraordinary.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Fairwater Talks. We are thrilled to have you join us today for this important gathering dedicated to raising awareness, sharing solutions, and taking action for a sustainable water future. Visit our social media pages at Fairwater MNL and at Magsaysay Award for more information on the exhibit and talks. We would like to acknowledge our partners for today's event. This event is sponsored and supported and co-presented by Maynilad. Special thanks to the Ayala Museum, Ayala Foundation, Asian Development Bank, and University of Oxford. To officially open today's Fairwater Talk, may we invite Ms. Joy Alampay to deliver the opening remarks on behalf of Ms. Susan Afan, President of the Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation.
Thank you, Simone. Parang walang tao dito sa harap ko. Who wants to sit here? Wala? Sige, so welcome again. As Simone has said, this is actually our 6th talk, and we have 6 more weeks. Pero sa buong 12 weeks na yon, ito na siguro yung pinaka-unique sa lahat ng gagawin ng Fairwater. You'll see why. And so I'm glad that I see high schoolers, tama? Senior high schoolers from the Titana colleges. Welcome. And then also, I'm so happy to hear that the Philippine Army is here, tama ba? To be with us. Of course, Ma'am Vanji representing the Pamatasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. I think Lasal also is here. What other schools are here? Wala pa. But we're also thankful the Department of Tourism, Sir Dennis, thank you for being here with us. So, and you'll see why. So we have presentations today, hindi yung salita. but really nice presentation. So I'm very, very excited. Um, and before I deliver the message or the opening remarks of our president, I just like to ask any of you, naririnig nyo ba yung mga tinatanong sa atin ng matatanda? Nagsasabi ba kayo ng tabi-tabi po? Pag may nakita kayong nuno sa punso, gano'n, di ba? Or sinasabi pag nasa river tayo or creek, huwag ka masyado magulo, may engkanto, may engkanta. Right? Sinong nakakarinig nun? And may iba na sinasabi nila sa garden namin, may duwending itim or puti. Di ba? Sana puti kasi daw, pag puti, maganda yung tanim at saka very positive yung aura ng ating garden, correct? So anyway, this particular session will not only delve into the stories that water tells, it will also go beyond itong ang mga pamahiin natin sa Pilipinas and of course sa Asia. So welcome again to every one of you. On behalf of our president, this is her opening remarks. When I was younger, my grandmother used to tell me never to throw anything into the river. Kahit daw yung mga balat ng, di ba sinasabi natin, pag biodegradable, pwede. So, she would say, may bantay dyan. Yun nga yung sinasabi natin, mga engkanto. At the same time, I thought it was just a superstition. Yun nga, sinasabi natin, pamahiin, it's a cultural norm. But now, I realize it was her way of teaching respect. Totoo naman. A simple story that carries a deep value, that nature is alive and deserves care. So that is what this morning is all about. Water in culture and the stories water tells. The story Water Tells celebrates the stories, beliefs, and rituals that have shaped how we care for our rivers, lakes, and springs. And syempre, dahil nga, ilan na ba yung isla natin? Binago na eh. Oo, from the 7,100 something, di ba? Dumami na po. So, pinapaligiran tayo ng tubig. So it's also a reminder that even in today's world, those lessons very much matter. We begin today's program with a performance by the 1965 Ramon Magsaysay awardee from the Philippines. Bayanihan Folk Arts Center, also known as the Bayanihan Philippine National Folk Dance Company. I'd like to thank, but they're not, andyan sila sa likod, Sir Leo, Migs, and Petra for pauunlakan nila tayo ng kanilang performance. So, Bayanihan has carried the soul of Filipino culture through dance, music, and storytelling. Today, they will present a special performance inspired by the water rituals of 3 indigenous peoples communities in the Philippines. Ito na ang mga Tagalasal. Welcome to our session today. Their piece will show us that culture is not only a way of teaching, it is also a way of remembering and of reconnecting with something sacred and alive. Following this, we will have a short film featuring our very first Bhutanese Ramon Magsaysay awardee. He was awarded last year. Dr. Karma Phuntso, founder of the Loden Foundation. In his work with the Himalayan communities, particularly in Bhutan, he reminds us that culture and nature are deeply intertwined. The way people protect their environment is often rooted in tradition, story, and spirituality. The same is true here, dito sa ating bansa, in the Philippines and our neighboring Southeast Asian and Asian neighbors. Our elders may not have used scientific language, but their wisdom taught generations to treat nature with reverence. To the young people with us today, we have much, much younger people here nga na mga high school. And ayoko na magtanong kung sino ang young dito. Baka lahat tayo tumayo, no? Mag-raise ng hands, including myself. So may this session open your eyes to the stories hidden in nature. And when you hear an old tale or pass by a quiet stream, remember that those childhood superstitions were never just about fear. They were about respect. They were about care. They were our first lessons in living with the land, not just on it, because water still tells stories. And today, just like our elders once did for us, we let those stories flow once again. And on behalf of our president, Ms. Susan Afan, I thank all of you for being, for being here today.
Thank you, Ms. Joy. May we now call on our guest, Mr. Migs Anzures, to deliver the introduction for the Bayanihan presentation.
The Bayanihan, the national dance company of the Philippines, was founded by Helena Benitez in 1956 by virtue of Republic Act 8626. It takes its name from an ancient Filipino tradition called Bayanihan, which means working together for a common good. Backed by research and innovative choreography, Bayanihan has successfully mounted 14 major world tours and over 100 short tours covering 6 continents, around 79 countries, and over 700 cities worldwide. In 2002, with its second-generation directors, the company started joining prestigious world dance competitions. Today, Bayanihan shines proudly as a 14-time World Dance Grand Prize winner. We are honored to take you on a journey through the heart of our islands, where diverse indigenous peoples reveal their deep, sacred bond with water. This beautiful testament to how we celebrate the Filipino spirit of Bayanihan, united in purpose, cherishing and safeguarding this fundamental blessing that sustains us, water. Through symbolic rituals and rhythmic dances, we explore the vital role water plays in our traditions and livelihoods. Water as a source of life, purity, and a celebration of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bayanihan, the national folk dance company of the Philippines. In the magical forests of Palawan, the Philippines' last frontier, emerges the Babaylan, the High Priestess. With ancient wisdom, she blesses and prays to the noblest of elements, seeking an eternal flow of success, prosperity, and wellness for all life. From the exotic mountainous region of southern Mindanao, we bring you the Tiboli Maidens, celebrating this momentous event with a water-filled bamboo tube symbolizing new life emerging from the lakes and crevices of Lake Cebu. Up in the Apo Mountains, we meet the Bagobos. They stoop down, symbolizing profound respect for the life giving force that is water. To the rhythmic sounds of bells, they perform their footwork, pouring offerings from bamboo poles. From the rich ethnic heritage of the legendary rice terraces comes banga, with jars filled with fresh water mist from the leaves of the forest in the mountains of the Cordillera. May we pay homage to the vital role of water in the daily lives and agricultural traditions of the Cordillera people. As the Tabole Maidens gracefully pours the life-giving waters from Lake Cebu into the banga jar, it becomes a powerful symbol uniting diverse traditions, intertwining the spirit of the South with the heritage of the North. May this signify a renewal of life, shared blessings, and the continuous flow of prosperity for all. Together, we celebrate the true essence of water, unbound and flowing freely. The unity of our community, strengthened through shared purpose, and the overflowing of blessings upon us all. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1965 Ramon Magsaysay awardee from the Philippines, Bayanihan, the National Folk Dance Company of the Philippines.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you. We hope you appreciated and enjoyed our performance. It's what we usually do during celebrations. And normally, when we open events, this is what we do. I think from the voiceover, you were able to at least grasp what the ritual is all about. And we chose this piece because it's relevant to your topic, which is water and culture. And we want to show that in the Philippines, water is not only the source of livelihood, or it's not what makes us do everything like everyday lives. It's also a ritual that different, yes, different communities in the Philippines. It's either it's a form of medicine, celebratory, or to yeah, way of life, or driving away evil spirits. So those things. So I hope you were able to grasp. And with me is Sir Leo and Sir Migs. I'm Petra, and the rest of Bayanihan. So do you have any questions? Don't worry, there's no exam. Yeah, but just please like our page.
We
Any
have-
questions?
Hello.
Any
Yes, ma'am.
questions?
Yes.
Can you talk more about the costume, the props that you were using?
Yes. Oh. Costume. The costume, we have Sir Leo here.
The first one is the Bagobo tribe. First here, the Pagduwata is from Palawan. Basically, it's a dance from Palawan, the Babaylans of Palawan. The number two is the Bagobo Tiboli of the south, which is the other one is Bagobo from Davao, and then the other one is Tiboli from South Cotabato. And then the last one is from Cordillera, of course, the mga of Cordillera. Basically, in Bayanihan costume, the way of Bayanihan creating costume on stage, putting a costume as a little bit into theatrical approach. That's why if you notice, but enhancement. But if you notice on the fabric of the Tiboli tribe, still the Tinalak fabric exists on that area. And if you're talking about Tibolis of the south, they are basically in Lake Cebu. That's my place in South Cotabato. They are surrounded on that area.
Surrounded by water, surrounded by the lake. Again, where
Yes.
water is actually, it's a way, again, water, like we were saying earlier, water is a way of life.
Yeah.
So from it being part of our natural surroundings, being part of our daily rituals, being part of like, it's something that we need to keep going, keep going as well.
Even the patterns of the Tinalak from Tiboli tribe basically is from nature at the same time. Okay.
And the props, like the pot. Normally, when we dance the Tiboli, it's just the hat and the sablay. But we included the canister of water because in the regular performance that we have more ethnic communities with us to represent each community. But for now, since it's a glimpse of what we do, yes, we use the canister to bring in different communities together, and then we chose the stone with the pot and the water flowing to symbolize like how water flows in our lives, in our everyday activities. Yes, I hope we answered your question. Other questions? Yes.
When you say, I'm Robbie Alampay, when you say na, this is from Palawan, this is from Tiboli, this is from the Bagobos, I assume you're not necessarily the ones who did the anthropological, no. But yes, but what's the process in the story? I imagine you don't just go there and copy the moves, diba? Then so there is a certain level of storytelling that you gather from them. So what's that process like in asking them, the stories behind this, and also, do you have any particular insights on? I get it that water is everything to everyone, and there's a universal appreciation for it. But have you found anything interesting na iba yung perspective? There's a particular perspective coming from a particular community. What are some examples of those?
Okay, to start with, how we begin with our research and everything. Our regular activities, we partner with different LGUs. That's how it starts, and then from there, everything like flow in ideas, and then say, oh, maybe you can do a research on this, and then we do the legwork, like touching base with the LGUs, the NCIP. So of course, you have to get the permit of the NCIP, and then we get in touch with the communities. And then?
So one of the programs that Bayanihan does is called Teaching and Touching Lives. So the Teaching and Touching Lives is it's one, research, two, it's a reach out to community as well. So as sharing the dances that we've learned from that personal group, and then bringing it back to Manila and making sure that that there's some sense of ownership. So what we want to do is what you're doing is you're empowering the communities in the different areas by showcasing their music. But we do it in our Bayanihan style. So there's a mutual understanding that's put there. But the program of teaching and touching lives is something that we do on a yearly basis. That because we have over 7,000. How many islands are there now?
Oh my.
7,641 islands. I don't know if that's high tide or low
tide.
tide, but by that point, we with the many rich islands, we have to make sure that we represent as much as we can, or just a generic area.
And then we do a different. Ours is not the regular workshop that, of course, because I guess some of you experience workshops in other companies, which is good as well. But ours, we do a different approach. Our late executive director, executive director, she always tells us that you have to have fun while learning. So it's not basically, especially those who are doing the workshop, of course, you teach the techniques and everything, but we have to make sure that they're having fun. It cannot be just learning, or else if they learn, probably just to get the certificate, then after that, they forget everything. We also teach the experience. And yes, and then we do the research, is we touch base with, of course, who are in the authority of whichever community, and then we get consultants. Yes, we have anthropologists, also those who are in the community, and then after we do our own rendition, a rendition of ours. We ask them. So of course we need to get the permit. I mean. We text them.
It's easier with texting.
Or we do
it's
by
either with
Zoom,
just through Zoom or Viber.
Is this okay?
Yes.
But basically, we do like we want to invite you in our season production, August 29 and 30, at the Metropolitan Theater. So you can see our new works there. We do like a 3-month preparation, and then in the August, we'll do like a panel critiquing. We have panels who are experts from different fields. It doesn't have to be just those who are in folk. Of course, those are the basics. So, but we got people from our alumni, education. We also get someone who does stage design, creation, and so on. So it's like a multifaceted view. So we don't stick with just one aspect.
Just like water, there's purified, distilled,
mineral.
mineral.
Yes.
Hello po, magayong aldaw katimyo. So that's Tinagbanwa, for good day to you. Ako po si Ralph Fonte. Ako po ay katutubong Palawenyo, Kuyunon po ako. So hindi ako Tagbanwa. Pero ito nakaraang buwan po, Hunyo, nag-celebrate po nung Baragatan, yung provincial fiesta of Palawan. At doon ay nagkaroon ng gabi ang kulturang Palawenyo. So nagtanghal yung iba't ibang IP groups. So siyam yung IP groups ng Palawan para sa kaalaman ng lahat. At kabilang po doon yung, syempre, yung mga Tagbanwa. So actually, nung pagpasok niyo po, sabi ko, familiar to kasi nakita ko nga rin po yung pagtatanghal ng pagdiwata, doon sa gabi ang kulturang Palawenyo sa provincial capital. Yes po.
One part.
Opo. Doon po sa napanood, sorry po, inagaw. Doon po sa napanood ko, parang ang dami rin nilang mga Tagbanwa na galing Aborlan na nagtanghal po sa Puerto Princesa. Pero yun nga po, ang tatanungin ko po talaga ay, gusto ko po malaman yung proseso ninyo, kung paano nyo po binabalanse yung verisimilitude, yung pagdikit dun sa kung paano itinatanghal ng mga komunidad yung kanilang mga sayaw. At so verisimilitude, paano siya binabalanse po dun sa pangangailangan na maging performative o mapagtanghal sa entablado. So, yun po yung una kong tanong. Ano po yung process nyo? Parang paano tinitiyak na hindi masyadong recognizable pa rin sa isang katutubo yung sayaw, habang tinitiyak na ma-enjoy siya ng audience bilang sayaw na pinapanood at tinatanghal sa entablado. At yung pangalawa ko pong tanong, itatanong ko na rin po. Sabi po kasi marami pong kaibigang tagbanwa rin, ay yung sa naming mentor sa Palawan, si Dr. Paul Hagnis. Isa niyang ikinalulungkot ay hindi na raw masyadong interesado yung kabataan na mag-aral ng ganyang mga sayaw, yung mga pagdiwata at iba pang mga katutubong sayaw. So ang tanong ko po ay, ano po yung palagay ng bayanihan, ang papel ng bayanihan o papel ng ibang mga grupo kung paano maipapanatili, mape-preserve yung ganitong mga practices. Hindi lang bilang performance, kundi bilang isang lived reality, kumbaga. Ayun lang po.
Yes, we understand. Mahirap talaga.
Challenge,
Mahirap
big
to
challenge.
encourage the young ones to be involved. So, in Bayanihan's case, we have an artistic team. So, hindi siya, I don't know how other companies do it, but in our company, we have an artistic team. So, hindi pwedeng isang point of view lang, like what we mentioned. Tapos, if we are going to add some enhancements, like, for sure, like Tiboli, wala ka talaga makikita ganito. But when we do it, we ask permission sa ethnic community. So,
That's very important. That
important,
you should be
yes.
able to
You
ask
have to
the
get their,
community, the approval
permit.
of the community.
So-
It's because once you pull out that already in the community, very important that you should be able to research at the same time and ask the higher ups
Yes.
regarding with the
And it's a
movements.
continuous process. Like for now, so you see, okay ba, pwede ba yung ginawa ko? Well, diba? So for you, pwede. Pero could be
On the
For
other,
another person,
another
yeah.
audience.
Another
So,
audience
ano ba yung
member.
pinaggagawa? So for us, we also take in that criticism. So of course, you have to balance. Sabi nga nila, pag may basher ka, ibig sabihin nun, you're doing something that's making a mark.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure, like, you have to
Accountability
sasalain,
on your-
yes.
Yes.
Sasalain nyo whether is this criticism is sticking to too much, like, kasi may mga purists then, which we understand. But according to one of the anthropologists that we work with, anything that you take out from the community is no longer authentic.
Yes.
So, pag nilagyan mo yan ng entrance, exit, count, di na yan authentic. Tapos wala na sa community. So basically, we cannot claim that we are authentic, but we base our movements from the
Tribe
the community where we did the research. So, yung research namin, authentic naman kasi nanggaling doon. Pero again, sa inyo, marami din kayong communities na Tagbanwa. So, sa inyo, iba-iba din. For sure, meron din. Hindi, ganito yan. Pag
From Tagban,
ganon.
may breakdown pa, di ba? Like there's all the different hierarchies that are in there. Again,
Yes.
perspective is it's something that's fun. It's what actually makes us creative at the same time. You know, again,
and then putting the dance
me
on
as
stage.
you know, especially like then you have like the boomer generation. You have the boomer generation, like whatever. The boomer generation or Gen X or millennials, they all have a different perspective,
We
all
also
on the
adapt.
same thing. But you also adapt and you also innovate to make sure.
Like, I guess, for now, you can't last like I don't know kung nakaka-last pa kayo ng whole section ng Swan Lake or I don't think, parang in the middle baka natutulog na. So, we know that. So, kami, as much as possible, if we can limit the dances like 2 minutes or less, to
If I
make it
can-
exciting.
yeah.
Para madaming nangyari. Para hindi ka pwede pumikit. Kasi pag pumikit ka, dami mo nang nakalimutan or nakita, na miss out. So,
Yeah, but if
that's
I could,
one thing that we adapt. So we try to study as well the audience. That's why I think when we had a meeting with Miss April and Miss Joy, I think, we asked, what are the audience like? So we also pattern our performance according sa audience. So we have to consider everything. It's, again, it's a holistic approach. Hindi na siya pwede one-sided.
So one of the things that especially that we do in Bainian, as you heard earlier, 14-time World Dance Grand Prize winner. And it's not an easy feat, but if I can just give you a little bit of a background on that. Imagine we have 7,641 islands here in the Philippines. You have 5 minutes to present your country. Literally like 5 minutes, like we can't do the whole, like through the whole movements of all of a dance, but you have to show the essence of the Philippines. All in 5 minutes with all of your members, and once the 5 minutes is up, that's your time. So there's been points where you've seen all of the dances that you had here was all done in 10
10 minutes
seconds,
or
sometimes
7
10
minutes.
seconds for like for one portion or whatever, that we're just able to get the essence of being of the Philippines in there. So it's just making sure that you edit yourselves properly, but at the same time, when you're editing yourselves, you're also showing the best of your abilities during that time. So hopefully that answered your question.
I may second question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
regarding sa challenge now.
Sa kon.
How to transfer it over to the next generation so that they get interested.
With us, we explain the background. So of course, halimbawa, I did the research and then passing it on to them. Of course, there's a little bit of miscommunication along the way, but we have to make sure when I pass it on to them, and they did certain performances, we don't limit it to, you have to copy exactly what I'm doing. Hindi pwedeng ganon because he is, well, bawa silang dalawa, different sila. So, but after that, we again ask we have critiques to do it, to make sure that we are not changing something. So again, team effort. It's what the name of our company is Bayanihan. So we still work together. Hindi siya pwedeng solo flight.
Yeah, but for our company, like we do another program. I said so earlier. I was telling you about teaching and touching lives. So the other program that we do is Sayaw.
Sayaw
So our
workshop.
Sayaw, it reaches out to dance enthusiasts, kids that that have an interest in folk dance, and then we also give them a chance to be on stages. Stage as well. So the process that Petra was telling us of how we teach them how to dance. Again, it's learning the backgrounds, because sometimes that what we find is that if you don't know the background of a dance, you don't know what you're doing. You'll just go through the motions. But once you have an understanding of where the dance is from, or how the community works, and what the movements are, be it from a bird, be it to flowing
Yes.
water, those are all important. And that's one of those things that it kind of
Meron
intrigues your
din kaming
mind.
medyo theoretical part, or we also have yung mga notes and everything. We still do that.
Individual dancers also have their own research.
Their
How
own
to adapt
methods, yes.
a
So
particular
apart
tribe
from the one that
dance.
was passed on to them, we encourage each dancer to do their own research as well. So pag ganon, you just present it to our directors are very open. Like if you tell our directors, sir, I found out this movement, blah blah blah, and whatever. And he would tell you, can you do it? And then he will check if it's proper or not, and then he'd probably incorporate it if he thinks it's nice, and then he'll have the team and whoever is an expert on that specific dance to criticize whatever we're doing. Yes. Thank you. Si ma'am po. Grabe. Ano pala to, exam?
Ganito po.
Paano interview defense?
Okay, better stand because I'm taller with everyone else, okay? Well, good morning, I'm Rowena. I'm with the Department of Tourism, representing the Accredited Tour Guides of the Philippines. We're NCR, and we are actually multilingual tour guides. One is speaking for German and for Japanese. This is Russian, and both of them are in English speaking. So we wanted to know, just in case, wherever, do you have any weekly or monthly?
Oh, yes.
Yes, because sometimes whenever we had a storytelling with our guests, we always touch everything because that's a part of our job. See, we have to sell the whole of the Philippines as it is, the culture and the heritage of it. So, as part of your bayanihan, we're very elated and happy to see, because at least we can see part of it, kung ano talaga yung mga kultura ng Pilipinas by showing in dancing. And that's also a very happy part for the guests na naikukwento man namin. We do storytelling, pero iba po yung visual, right?
Yes, that's
so,
true.
kasi kung naikukwento namin, siyempre nagkakaroon sila ng imagination in their minds. So, paano kaya yun? So, at least kung meron nakikita din nila, like we have already told it in our storytelling, and then they can see, visualize. So, very masaya sila doon. And sabi nga ng isa from Tiboli, the younger generation, nawawala na. No, it's not. Actually, it's getting massive at this time. Kasi
That's
because of
true.
Secretary Frasco, with all these cultural dressings that we have,
That's
kasi
true.
tuwan-tuwa din kami kanina. We thought of having
Pwedeng
those...
pang Monday uniform.
Yes po, we thought of
Monday
having...
uniform, yes.
Yes, we thought of having that sombrero as part of our when we do our tour guiding, kaya lang medyo itaas ng konti kasi hindi makikita yung magbumukha namin, di po ba? Kasi
Gana po
medyo
pala.
nakalaylay sa harapan. And we do actually, we
Dapat po
actually...
pala, there's a different, well, you can have the one from Tiboli. We also, meron si Gamaba, from Ilocos, Gamaba artist, yung,
Tangkulong?
Tangkulong.
Tangkulong,
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
Maganda po pala, iba-iba kayong hats.
Yes,
Para
actually, right
commercial
now, the shirt that we're wearing, Love the Philippines, are already incorporated with all those kinds of cultural
Yes, highlights.
yeah,
like this
materials
one.
with the highlight,
Yes.
with your, like your, the sash, down,
This one,
yan,
yes po.
yung pong pababa.
This
yeah.
is for 100. Na, joke lang.
Oh, nga po.
Bawal po, bawal.
Actually, we want to ask it kung saan po ba nakakabili, parang gano'n. Kasi we want to showcase, by having just storytelling, we can put it all in our, sa
Yes.
pagdinami, sa costume namin. They would ask,
True.
saan nyo binili yan? Saan nyo
That's
binili yan? Saan
true.
nyo binili yan? Di po ba? And we're very proud of wearing actually right now. Gustong-gusto namin. And some of us just went to Mindanao just a week ago because we had an NC, National Tour Guide Convention. We do it the whole of the Philippines yearly. So they showcase different kinds of cultures and we love it and we really, kasi like what you have said, you do your dancing in 5 minutes, edited, and you also do that. Imagine we have to
Edited,
translate in
yeah.
our own languages that we are specialized of. Do in German, do in Russian, and everything.
Wow.
So at least they could understand how is it, why do we wear it, bakit iba-ibang klase, and we
Yes.
really have to impart it to make them na yun ang ating kultura, ganyan. So somehow they want to wear it, like in
Yes.
Baguio, in Sagada. O hindi
Ganda,
aalis
mga
ang mga guests na hindi naka-costume with having their pictures in it, and then they're going to bring it home with yung mga kasamahan nila doon, whoever neighborhood,
Yes.
and they come because they want to wear those
That's
wardrobes that we had in our tribal costumes, and we really love it. We really want to showcase
Thank
it
you
actually.
po.
For just in case kung saan nyo po meron ko kayong monthly or weekly,
Ay, yes.
just
We can give you, well, we have our Facebook page and the Instagram page.
That's very
It's
good.
Bayanihan National Dance.
So because we wanted to let our guests to visualize. Yeah.
Yes.
Hindi lang yung storytelling, baka sabihin, minsan may part ng she's lying or he's
She's
lying.
lying.
You know, meron pa bola. Baka mamaya nabudol na kami. Parang gano'n. Siyempre, they're paying. They have to get what they're paid for, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Thank you very much.
We would like to... Oh, I can take both mics. Okay. Hi, I'm Isay Nodalo. I'm currently the director of DLSU Culture and Arts. But I used to be part of the Arma family under the team of Miss Joy. So it's nice to be back. So I have a question siguro on behalf of the academic institutions present here. No? So I'm wondering if you have existing programs for wherein you can impart your knowledge or your experiences with students. Just like here, we have Ali from our Lasal Dance Company folk. And she will be performing Pagdiwata in their concert. Kailan? July 18 and 19. So, sabi ko, is there an opportunity for our students to have feedback from experts like people from Bayanihan
Yeah,
and
you can
things like
write.
that?
You can write a letter to our executive director, then you can, because we have a student, if I remember correctly, a student from DLSU who's doing his thesis. And he interviewed us. And we also have a faculty from York University who also did a exchange program with us. So yes, please, you can.
So that's it
DLS.
for me. Thank you. DLSU. Peter Alcedo.
Ay,
Sir
yes,
Peter.
si Sir- because
Yes.
the brother is the one from York University who we did the the exchange with them.
Yung
Yes.
pala eh.
So
Small
you can
world.
ask me,
Just
you
like water,
ask
we're
us.
all interconnected. We're
Yes,
all interconnected.
exactly.
But it's nice that you're actually, yeah, we would be happy to help you or assist you.
Congrats, last Saturday nag-show sila.
Next Saturday.
So, to our dear audience.
Contemporary. We also have LaSalle Dance Company Contemporary, so we have another representative here.
Thank you again to Bayanihan. Through their dance, we are reminded of water's deep cultural significance flowing through our rituals, stories, and ways of life. Through their piece, it takes us on a journey across our islands where indigenous traditions honor water as a sacred source of life, purity, and community. A beautiful tribute to the Filipino spirit of Bayanihan. Up next in today's session is a featured video presentation from Dr. Karma Phuntso. In the heart of Bhutan's Zemgang district, the Loden Foundation leads a powerful initiative to protect the lake and heritage of Tali village. With support from UNDP Bhutan, the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program, and the Royal Government of Bhutan, the project brings together science, tradition, and community, honoring water not just as a resource, but as a sacred thread in the fabric of culture and life. Beyond Tali, Dr. Karma and the Loden Foundation are also working closely with the Ura community in Butang. Ura is a mountain village with fresh springs and streams that provide water for daily needs, farming, and important spiritual and festival traditions. Dr. Karma is supporting the rebuilding of a key community space that is essential for cultural and religious life. These efforts reflect a shared commitment to preserving Bhutan's living traditions and strengthening the deep bonds between people, nature, and spirit.
Yun tampulera machi drumitsugi rangi netada tun totobe mide digita lamlu dele rangi luseda rikwasu nyamsu landera töbi. Deda chika machi drumitsugi rida nase pshada do chuda tsoh la sobi rangi netangi sakutsu tsa chobe tsiwika desu nalu migi toni yobi doa mida dudro simchin sokcha bubdanya dele pshayi ritsugi matseba Migi matomi yula shidada sada lasoba mi mayimbatsu le shachi nedi yobeziu in. Zitong disulu tendi ranshi tako nedang nyamsung benilu pento bombera chundi yobda dizumgi lamlu di paju pujibe nedi yobin.
Di tako nedang pinum sokto yobe lugobi jumsendira zo ngachira dubi midenalu du tangpolera ya rinnamesame totachiberu dilu 대 리기 내다 시다스미 슈규스 체마 몸주로 체마 디나로 뒤로 내다 시달로 수유스 폴라스 유스 자 몸주로 자디나로 대 닥센스미 ចេ네 슈규스 디즘베 대 추다 초키설로 대 루다 맨몰로스 안누즘기 대 내다 시다 슈규비기 디수기 포장 슈네베 지구로 배우이메 아네베 찐이디기 내가 저렇게 타고 내 땅데 나도 선생 마냥바 빈좀 속도도베 Ludu yobi.
Shemgan zonka tali utsen nalu chadi yobi tasi bigi tsodi nyadabki utsen puli lu chadi yobi yondra chengi puli memo tso semiki genchei bahuchi imbe iche kep imidia. Sanegi tamjuda tiwachin puli tsodi hema tali lu cha yobi inru tato yobi sago nalu nepu joyi kap Puli memotsui bahuchi dare tali tso nedi yobi sane dika lusomle tendi ki yobi tsochi imbe shenidu. Dimatse laluchigi tso di tuse dawa gyatsengi suchubeye shenidu. Tso disuye tso memtsu nebi podra imbe tisul yoble gyasi dinalu tsokpa shuchuni la soba bewachin. Ranjingi kenyin namshir junida shen neyamda mugegi nyobasu juni nyenkha yobe ichike bimbe. Tali tsodi, yugo dinayobi chim gongba kechi nga dechigi shingchugi ka imbagi matse, rida simchenda gono simchen tsuye 추통사 초디날레 임베
떨리게 되네 시태가 무엔 때날라 어리라 오가지기 세기 까 어떻게 벤부디 나나 어떻고 파메기라고 들럽대 번발라 테닝에 닝데 튀노 콤플링 빛 빠절라 콤플링 빛뭐 콤플링 빛뭐 테 남에서메 뭉이유나 노트부디 에닉바 오테닝에 테니 사조에모 브로 오더라 닉피 나라 테니 노트부디라 다 생에세 기냐바 드기로부디 녹상 모들 통데 나라
잠소이 칼레 미터 직동 된자 대치기 사카 차디 요비 초디기 탐다디 라징기 깨된 싱나이 릭소야 가누와 추페 옆이 대야 레귤 디기톨레 셴가 나세 이상기 초이 타콜로 깨된 에당기 이집지 베미다 튜다 싱당 오싱기 릭마도 케치 찌데치다 올라 체기 릭 케치 니데치 옆베 뉴준 중엽마세 르다 셈징기 릭 주니다 제이 리마도 딘추데치 토키 베디엽다 다루 럽체니 냥카유비 셈징기 릭레 따다 파우 짜가 세기 동진 델레 돔다지 샤우츠에 참디 옆베 토키 베디도 미츠기에 용잡에 볼리 초딜로 남에 삼에 규쿠다 찌통 bombe 깨디 유루 딸리 초디기 테칼로 롱오 레샤치기리 남에 다메베 류엽레 초디 싱라로다 짜츠기 가디 되누 에커치 데치기 사코날로 차디유비 초디야 자찰레 굽주 데치 추날로 케미 짜이 릭수기 가디 엽레 디술레 텐 추이 체디야 로터 신도 마팝 조도 엽임베 산에나기 미세 초길라미나 초이 타콜레파 윤텐루 네비 소남기 라 제리 잠니다 탑시 또니 라소비 레나 출레텐디 싱수 담니디기 초이 딸루유비 추이 진다 초이 타코기 라지 네달루 락버두 네겐 bombe라 준디 유유세임베 소디 람스다 데비 타코 네당 카 체힌수 셈카샤디 딸리기 미세초기 초디 냠송 베디 단지 탑누루 냠제 베미 찔루 주디 여비
냠소데 같은 슈디 분이다 남이 있으면 떨리롱고 판디나 보든 가래기 녹선어서 전이 저라 통디나 라다니
찔로 니동 쥐굴루 로든 시소기 잠링 타코 튕기기 조람 충위 레림다 둘루 여비 잠링 치초 konfe 레림 델레 두중기 망이 잡주 톨레 딸리기 미세 수다치가 냠제 베디 딸리 초다 초이 타콜루 유비 깨딘 내땅수 쩌소 베디 냠숭 베니기 레귤디 고츠누 아니 좀기 젠다 마드위 레귤디기 산네기 미세출루 람스기 곰시다 체리다 데위 셰윤 자케타니 델레 초디 쩌소 베디 냠숭 베니 디좀베 초데다 타코 내땅디 다진 탑닐루 셈슈 비니기 된레 임베 레귤디기 셰윤 다든 진종다 데 로덴 시소기 십설 데생기베 초당 산내기 로주수 카 체hin기 콜레 십세 베디 이토다 빠치기 톨레 팝송 베디 옆이 레귤 디다 제디 초다 라시 타고 람스기 둘람다디 카 체도도 옆이 사고수 뉴진 베디 GPS로 시작톨레 사참 도sam기 사타야 용조베라 조디 옆이 디즘베 산내 디난기 싱다 메톤나소 샤다 르다셈진 델레 추이 사공 초기 콜레 시딘 네디치 조탑로 깨된 렉나기 십세치에 고진 탑누
추 디차시디 가라다가 지기 체마기 분합에 디다치가로 당아지 거니 바나로 체마다 추 차탄기 바나로 저와 봄일로 딘디 담바랑 같이 딘노로 한바 데다 란신네 등이 한바비 숨디 집에라 다 담바디 가지기 된다 가지기 체마 나실디 딘나로 쿠기 초기 탐태가로 가리를 두가라 데 이바디 가지기 다 딘나로 데 가지기다 심지 데리다하게 심지인디주 데가 데비두가라 디다치가로 당아 지나기다 소소 데다 잡지주 데랭아 지나기 미디주다 지칼로 디날로 제와가데 두가 당아지기 가라디날 탑도 순이라
딸리 초차소 베니기 될레 konfiki 레나수 자 체타베라 엽다 초날레 짜다 오신기 베세수 뉴즘 베니기 될레 템플로 여비 개용 깨된 렉나 때위나 담비기 슈 대화 여비 완전 출레 나와슈디 산내기 미세다 냠점 베디 최다 템비 자림수 고진 탑베 초이 나나 찹 체더베 기유비 짜수 베 꾸니다 싱라로수 땡고디 차다기 레림치야 고진 탑지 디즘베 레귤디기 미델루 펜탑기 된레 깨딘 네단다 데위 따실 레림다 윤텐 미데 따실 레림수 곤펠 따탑루 산내기 유다 레귤기 사고니 튜니기 된레 타코 람세기 람들 세엽다 디아 레귤 디기 톨레 냠소 슈여베기 최된 입다 투세 다와 게세기 댄사 짱로 쟁기 사공 올라 체기 사공 대좀베 슈이 진다 통자 체위 사공 소이 사공 주디 지사다 라징기 칼람조 세심레 튜델 베디 조여비 줄럼다디 워싱다 신기 릭주구 뉴진 베심레 쇼장 독주 레게 대치 자엽다 올라 체기 릭 넘버 케지 숨 뉴진 베디 쇼장 독주 대치구 체릭다 찹 치우베 랍스여비 민수 디디 자엽 마세 지르당 고와 다트기 된로 줄럼 칼루 레귤기 다장다 레귤기 사공 카 체토토레나 로주다 쳬베 다장레 자디여비 레귤 딜레텐디 드브레스 레숑베라 테여비 데 딸리 유생기 미세츠기 초다 데위 최다 람설수 카 체위콜레 템바 초여 마세 타코 냠숭 베니다 디기 케빈 추기 콜레 하코닐로 펜토 bom베라 중디여비
판타라스니 군다 부른 카야 캔 카야키 타카 붐섭도 수몽에 야사랑 갱모겐 빈단 되네양 되네 버버 세르kem 주야 코 어서로 부부디 그이로 웬게 되나 판 뱀마마도 네버터 미라타라 부디 레오 쳇버나
레귤디에 라루 최다 람스기 르파다 세르기 톨레 냠숭 베위 타브릭 모마 집에 튀ን디여비
Unfortunately, Dr. Karma could not join us today, but we are grateful for his wisdom. We hope that the short video left you inspired by the powerful work of Dr. Karma and the Loden Foundation, where culture, community, and conservation flow together with purpose and heart. For the next part of our program, we will have a poet and performer, Paulo Chausas, author of Tuwing Nag-iisa sa Mapa ng Buntong Hininga, winner of Best Book of Poetry in Filipino at the 40th National Book Awards, and Angas, published by Ateneo University Press. He was named Makata ng Taon in the 2021 Talaang Ginto and is a Carlos Palanca awardee. In 2024, he joined the Kyoto Writers Residency as a Japan Foundation ASEAN Fellow. Today, he reads Baha ng Muling Pagkabuhay and Sa Ngalan ng Ilog Pasig, poems that explore how water flows through memory, struggle, and identity. From floods that expose harsh realities to rivers steeped in myth and resistance, his work reminds us that water is not just vital, it is deeply cultural. Let's give a round of applause to Paulo Chausas.
Baha ng muling pagkabuhay. Mahal na saksi, mula sa abong nanlalagkit, mula sa dagat ng putik na isang tao ang lalim, sa tabi ng waiting shed ng LRT Santolan pagkatapos bumuhos ng isang dekadang ulan, umahon ako. Kalahating baha, kalahating tao, buong buo na panibugho. Mahal na saksi, sa sandaling yon ng nasalising kamatayan, pagkatapos ng 2 ulit na paglubog, dulot ng namaling hakbang sa hindi tanaw na bangketang tinakpan ng bestida ng baha, nagbagong anyo ang lahat ng mga buhay ko. At naging turista ako sa sarili kong bansa. Nagbagong anyo Ang lahat ng kilalang salita, halimbawa, ang salitang gutom na para lang sa mga walang sikmura, ang salitang uhaw na para lang sa hindi nakararanas ng ambon, hindi ka pwedeng maging mahirap. Kung marunong ka pa namang magbilang ng barya, ang pagrereklamo ay isang sagradong ritual na hindi dapat nakawin sa kulturang politiko kasing presyo ng 1,000 pisong alikabok Ingles, ang katutubong wika ng Las Islas, Filipinas at ang isda sa mga karagatan ay kathang isip o basta-bastang social construct lang at chismis rin lang ang lupang tinatayuan mo, hindi rin daw sa'yo ang pangalan mo. O mahal na saksi, malinaw pa sa putik itong mga katotohanang nabunyag mo sa 7.5 segundo kong pagiging lusak. Nilikha ang aking mata para hugasan ng baha. Maigi kang tubig, mabisang pagtatanghal ng dula, datapwa hindi bansa. Magandang umaga, ako si Paulo Tiausas, nagsusulat ako ng mga tula. Tulad nga na nabanggit ni Simon, ang tulang yon ay tungkol sa karanasan ng baha. Tungkol siya sa isang personal experience, no? Near-death experience nung Ondoy. At tingin ko ang ganitong mga penomeno ng baha at ang iba pang nararanasan natin ngayon, no, sa mga nakaraan 2 dekada ay kabilang sa mga kwento na ating isinasabuhay tungkol sa tubig, no? So, tulad nga nabanggit sa opening remarks kanina na parang ang mga kwento ng tubig, no, ay kwento na mula pa ng ating pagkabata sa pagkabata pa ng ating mga magulang at mga lolo't lola. Tingin ko meron din tayong sariling mga kwento ng tubig na mahalagang ulit-ulitin at mahalagang maitala sa kasaysayan sa kahit anong paraan. Ang pamagat naman ng ikalawang tula na ito ay Sa Ngalan ng Ilog Pasig. Galing akong Pasig, pero sa bahagi ng Pasig na medyo weird kasi parang isang tawid mo lang, kainta ka na, konti pang lakad mo, nasa Marikina ka na, mag-tricycle ka papunta sa kabilang lugar, QC na. So parang hindi siya yung gitnang-gitna talaga ng Pasig. Tapos parang medyo shocking sa akin nung una kong nalaman na malayo sa akin yung Ilog Pasig. Kahit parang my whole life, parang taga-Pasig ako. So, ang tulang ito ay personal take, speculative na retelling ng saan kaya nanggaling ang Ilog Pasig. Sa ngalan ng Ilog Pasig. Ang Ilog Pasig sa hinagap ko'y ahas ng bagot lumang alamat. Marahil bayaning pinatawan ng parusang ikulong sa lupa. Subalit hanggang sa huli, hindi bumitaw sa 2 lawang pinanggagalingan ng lakas, ang pangil, nakabaon sa Maynila at ang buntot, na sa mitolohiyang ito lukuban ng puso, nakabuhol sa Laguna. Marahil umibig ito sa nagdaraang ulap at tinakwal ng kapwa mandirigmang hayop sabagkat bakit nagkaganang maghangad ng iba sa nakasanayan. Marahil iniutos ng pinunong higante na lupigin ang ahas habang nananaginip. Doon lang madadaig ang kristal na kaliskis ng pinid na mga mata. Doon lang matatahimik ang kamandag ng patiling awit. Doon lang tulog ang pusong pinanggagalingan ng enerhiyang pinamana ng pumanaw na kometa sa kanyang bakuran. Ibig sabihin, nagsimula ang Ilog Pasig na ito bilang karaniwang mamamayan. Pinadala sa ibang bayan sa ngalan ng isang napakakaraniwang pakikipagsapalarang nararapat sa mga bayani. Marahil nagreklamo ito, nagtangkang tumakas, sinubok bagtasin ang dalampasigan, imbis ang nakatakdang ruta sa gitna ng 2 lawa. Marahil inamin sa kaibigang nakasalubong na hindi naman talaga ito ang gusto ko. Marahil umiyak ito sa saksing araw at buwan, marahil sumakit ang likod. ganitong hikahos. Hanggang sa dumating ang mga mananakop at sinilaban ang pusong napopoot ng kometa, naging dambuhalang ahas siyang makalilipol sa barko at tangke, sa mga anghel at demonyo, sa balat sundang na hindi tatablan ng katawan. Marahil isang gabi, sa paligid ng guhot apoy, nahimlay siya katabi ng natupok na puno. Marahil nakita niya ang langit. Marahil nakita ang ulap na tulad niyang nakahimlay sa kabila. Marahil inisip niyang may giyera rin kaya sa dakong paroon. Ano kaya ang ipagkakanulo upang maging bago ang buhay? Marahil naidlip at nagising siyang nakagapos na't nakatakda na ang parusa. Nagpumiglas siya hanggang sa huli. Kumapit sa baliw na tungkulin hanggang sa huli. Hanggang sa panahot universo ang makaraan at tubig na lamang siyang dinadaan-daanan ng mga pasaherong nakadungaw sa sasakyan. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chausas, for sharing your work. Our next performer is Ralph Lawrence Fonte, a poet, essayist, and public health physician based in Puerto Princesa, as well as a co-founder of Pawikaan, Palawan Writers Circle. Dr. Fonte's work has been recognized by the Palanca Awards, Performatura Poetry Slam, Premiong Lira, Bridport Poetry Prize 2022, Maningning Miklat Awards, and his poems appear in local and international journals. In 2022, Ateneo Press published his debut collection, Ang Kartografiya ng Pagguho. Today, he will read us one of his poems about the world in the eyes of a pod of whales. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Fonte.
Mayad nga temprano kanindong tanan. Good morning sa inyo lahat. Ako po si Ralph Fonte. Gaya po na nabanggit, ako po ay doktor at makata at sa makatuwid at taga-Palawan. At sa makatuwid, napakahalaga po para sa akin no, in both a personal and professional capacity ng tubig. Dati po ako, magkakwento na ako kasi isang tula lang yung babasahin ko. So dati po, ako ay naglingkod bilang Municipal Health Officer. So ako po yung basically health officer in charge sa kalusugan ng isang buong bayan sa Palawan. Pero yung bayan ay isla at 6 na oras ang layo sa Puerto Princesa. Hamon lagi yung malinis na tubig inumin. Hamon lagi yung dengue na dahil sa mga lamok na nagpaparami dun sa naiipon na tubig. Hamon din ang tubig dahil isla nga kami. So kapag kami emergency, kailangan tumawid ng tubig. Pero bukod doon ay buhay din dahil yung kabuhayan ng mga mangingisda nanggagaling sa tubig. Ang malinis na tubig ay siyempre mahalaga. Hiyas yan para sa ating kalusugan. So nakita ko po kung gaano kahalaga, importante ng tubig sa ating buhay. At sa Palawan, napaliligiran kami ng tubig, ng karagatan, kung saan nanggagaling ang kabuhayan. Ngunit hamon din siya dahil sa tubig din nanggagaling ang mga dayuhang mananakop sa kanlurang dagat ng Pilipinas. Alam naman nating lahat yon. At tubig din ang naghihiwalay ng mga isla sa Luzon, sa mainland Palawan, at nagiging hamon siya sa mga tao. Kunwari kailangan ng agarang paglipat no, mula dun sa islang munisipyo tungo sa mainland Palawan. So, ayun lang naman, nagkwento lang ako kasi the stories water tells us. So napakaraming pwedeng kwentong madukal tayo sa tubig. Pero ang babasahin kong tula ngayong araw ay isinulat ko matagal-tagal na panahon na. Pinagninilayan ko kasi yung hugis ng mundo ayon sa mga balyena. Diba, nakikita nila ang mundo sa ibang paraan. Nakakita ko ng mapa online na parang ganito ang itsura ng mapa natin kung water-based yung pananaw natin, kung hindi tayo nakatuon sa mga land masses. At isa siyang dikit-dikit, no? Lahat ng karagatan, lahat ng ocean ng mundo ay magkakadikit at hindi lang natin na-appreciate yun kasi mahalaga sa atin yung lupa bilang mga tao. So, ang tula ko po ay pinamagatang ang mapa ng mundo ayon sa awit ng Tandayag. Ang Tandayag po ay whale or balyena sa makalumang Tagalog. At nagsisimula po ito sa 2 epigraphy na babasahin ko po ngayon. Ayon kay Arthur C. Clarke, how inappropriate to call this planet Earth when it is quite clearly ocean. At sabi naman po ni Rainer Maria Rilke, gesang ist Dasein, ang pag-awit ay pag-iral. Ang mapa ng mundo ayon sa awit ng Tandayag. Una ay awitin, dahil ang daigdig ay tunog at tubig, dahil alaalay nanlulunod muli samantalang umid na himig, sapagkat ang awit ay mapa ng dagat ng pilat sa ating gunita, isang kasaysayan ng mga biniyak na tipak ng yelo at tinig na bigla ang pananahimik matapos pumusag, matapos humibik at umalingaw-ngaw ang hapis at hiyaw sa lahat ng sulok nitong karagatan ng mga katawan na naglahong walang bakas, kundi lapot at lansa ng dugo sa hampas ng alon at ang malamultong higing ng kanilang huling taghoy. Laging udyok ang pag-ahon at nilalang tayong hiram sa hininga ang pag-iral sa dagat, ang bawat pagsisid, kampay ng palikpik o iglap na himbing. Tanda itong uhaw sa hangin na panganib ang laot sa walang hasang. Sisingilin nito balang araw ang lahat ng inutang natin. Sumisimsim ang nangatataog na gasang sa bibig habang nangamuwal sa alamang tuwing ngangangat sa salok ng tubig ang panga. Tadhanay palakol, malulunod tayo, lulubog sa lamig na pusikit. Lalim bagkus may tagsibol man din, mga uod na puti sa tangrib nating mga buto. Musika nga ang lahat, kapag inawitan itong mundong bughaw, itutugon niya'y awit din. May bakas na imik ang bawat bagay. Oh, pakinggan paanong hugisan ng pait ng tunog ang buong daigdig, ang sariling himig ng tabsing, tag-araw sa malayong kulog, na durog na gulod ng yelo, ang titig ng buwang kumakanaw ngayong tinansuan sa danaw, kung paanong sa ating pagsiyap, muling nahuhubog ang buong karagatan, huni at sisilay ang pamumulaklak ng sagay, ang lundag ng mga lampasot, ang nangamimintog na sapad ng kamaron, dahilig ng pulo, bangkang nangalubog, ang mga bahurat sari, pang patibong at bighaning lingid sa mata. Totoo, lumalangoy tayong anumang sandali, mapupuluputan ang buntot ng multong lambat, waring tigkal ng nangatutuping galamay ng isang dambuhalang pusit, itim na kamaong pawang tumitikom, nagaspang at sitha ng gutom, may lupit na buwis sa rilag kaya dumadaong sa abot ng tanaw ang araw, at minsan ay lipos ang rabaw ng bughaw na bituin, kalawakang alga, mga bulalakaw, tayong lumalangoy sa saglit na ningning at may panahong muntik na tayong mapuksa. At lagi ng sigaw ang dapat pabulong, dahil tumatawid sa walang salita na lawak ang anino ng wika. Lilingon ka at wala ang kalangoy. Marahil nga'y angkop tayong namumuhay sa pag-alingaw-ngaw sa hibla ng boses, nasisinong paltos na mapa ng dagat, at ang bawat lunang malimot ang tunog ay umang napating. Kaya isa tenga itong talasografiya ng dahas, paanong lahat nagtataksil, maging ang buhangin, maging ang apaya ng singhap, maging musika, makinig, laging mag-iingat, tuwing tagtunaw dahil bumabagyo sa dako ng lamig ng mga salapang at may nagsasayaw na mga halimaw sa silong ng lungab ng ating kalansay habang nilalapa ang nyebeng madugo. Dahil nang bibitag na rehas ang tinis at nagiging hiwa, maging ang dalampasigang abo sa kanluran, dahil tutugisin tayo ng kalansing ng mga pulutong ng bangkang maingay, hanggang angkan sumadsad sa bingbing, at angkan din na latayang gilit, at angkan din tayong mga lunod sa dugo ng isang sumisigid sa kawil na pampang, hanggang buong luok ay maging itim na taga, sapagkat ito ang panahong mga Maninila ay tinatambangan ang sukabang iglap na aalimpuyong hihingat pinsalay iigkas sa nguso ng bakal na bapor. Nakagat ang mga sibat sa gulugod, sasabog mistulang kidlat na bumaon sa batok. Lalapit ang barko, lulunok. Nadadagit sila sa ating paglanghap. Hindi na ba tayo muli pang hihinga? Nadinig nila ang ating pagbigkas. Hindi na ba tayo muli pang kakanta? Una ay awitin dahil ang paglimot ay kamatayan din nating mga minasaker ng mag-amag-anak at nalipol halos dahil ang taglusaw ay laging darating. Alaala ngayong hayaang matitik sa himig at hanging noon idinagan ng mga ninuno natin ang kanilang galit at bigat sa bangka ng mga mananalapang. Mantakin paano tayong naninima ng magkakasaliw, paanong nanghuhuli ng mga alamang sa lambat ng bula at nangasasalo, pamimintakasing yari isa-isip sa muling pagsapit ng mga balangay, pagas, naglalaway na mga palasong sa tubig ay ibig tayong mga galos na ibubot ikanaw, mantakin ng kusog at bigat ng lundag, kuyog na sasalpok sa bansang pataob na ang maninimay, lunurin sa ligwak ng nangagkimpal ng sinaunang poot, anito ng asin, anito ng bulkan sa puson ng dagat, anito ng aligyari mo ng awit, bago pa ang ritual ng siping, ang mga ligawang matagis, bagong salinlahing, bagong iaanak sapagkat may ilan saming mapipipe, bago ang tagginaw at muling umigkas sa mga kalapay, hayaang ihabi ang aming salaysay hanggang sa tumiim ang dalit sa putik at matandang bato, hanggang maging ugong na sinasalamin ng lindol na kislot sa tadyang ng mundo. Mapa ang indayog, kalasag na handog na kahit lumatay, muli ang taghiyawan, ang mga apo nami makikipagtuos sa mundong sibatan. Makikipagtuos at hindi kailanman maliligaw. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. Muli, so matamang salamat sa inyong pakikinig. Ako po si Ral Fonte at maraming salamat sa Ramon Magsaysay Award Foundation at magandang araw po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Fonte, for sharing your work and insights. Poetry and literature are markers and expression of culture and our relationship to the world among us. We would now like to invite our dear audience, if anyone would like to share some insights on the pieces that were presented in the previous segment. Would anyone like to share any insights or reflections? Or perhaps if there are questions for our dear poets, you may have the floor now.
Anyone? Wala? Sige. So, I think ako na lang magre-reflect kung ayaw niya. But I'd like to thank Ralph and Dr. Fonte, Paolo. And so, it was very moving. Hindi ako masyadong, minsan makaintindi ng, di ba, purong-purong Tagalog. But, so, congratulations also, you may buy their books. and published works saan po?
Sa Ateneo University Press po. Both books. ang kartografiya ng pagguho and angas? Question mark.
Yeah. So, anyone who has an insight about water culture, which one did you like best? The dance, the video, or the poetry?
Ako, may tanong ako sa mga makata natin. Narinig na naman natin lahat, di ba? And maybe kayo bilang mga dalubhasa sa pananalita, di ba? Pati sa mga, the way we express things. Alam na naman natin, I think everybody's heard yung marami sa pangalan ng mga lugar natin actually nakaanib, nakasandal sa tubig. No? Mandaluyong, Maynila, di ba? Tagalog, and so on. Pero kayo, sa pagsusulat nyo, sa pagninilay-nilay nyo, hindi lang sa mga lugar, pero pati sa mga metaporya natin, sa mga kasabihan natin. Maybe I'd like to ask you, how much of our language is in fact also, centered on water, our metaphors, our expressions, and so on.
Salamat po Sir Ruby sa tanong. So gaya po nung napansin nyo, marami nga po talaga dun sa mga lugar natin sa Pilipinas ay nakapangalan sa tubig at syempre sa kalikasan. No? Yung mga place names, Maynilad daw dahil yung nilad ay isang aquatic plant. No? Ang isang gusto ko halimbawa dun sa Banahaw, di ba? Parang bawat water feature may pangalan. So sa akin, hindi lang yung pangalan mismo, kundi yung katotohanan na ang bawat maliit na sapa ay may tawag tayong pangalan dito sa Pilipinas. Pero bukod doon, mahalaga yung tubig dahil actually marami tayong nalimot na ng mga katawagan sa mga body of water halimbawa. Alam niyo ba kung ano sa Filipino yung cove? Cove. So bing-bing, 'di ba? Tawagin natin na basta cove ganyan. So bing-bing 'yun sa Filipino. Tapos marami pang iba na hindi natin masyado ginagamit na kipot, sapa, 'di ba? Na mga pangalan ng mga lugar. So sa palagay ko, pinapakita nun yung halaga ng tubig sa atin. At isang bahagi rin ito ay yung kasaysayan natin bilang mga mandaragat. So kamakailan ay nakikinig ako ng isang podcast na ni-discuss yung out of Taiwan theory ng mga Austronesian. So tayo ay mga Austronesian at tayo ay mga kalahi natin yung mga indigenous people ng Taiwan at hanggang Madagascar at hanggang Hawaii, mga Austronesian. At isa sa mga kahangahangang migration ay yung paglabas ng Taiwan at pag-colonize sa napakaraming isla mula dulo ng Indian Ocean hanggang kabilang dulo ng Pacific Ocean. So sa palagay ko, isa sa mga kinatutuwa ko actually kapag nagsasaliksik ako ng mga salita ay marami tayong mga salitang hindi na binabanggit ngayon na may kinalaman sa pagbagtas sa tubig, pagtawid ng dagat, yung mga nautical terms na dahil tayo ngayon ay very land-based na, no? Parang hindi na masyadong naglalayag, pag nagbi-beach ay nagtatampisaw na lang at hindi naman talaga pumapalaot. So, detached tayo dun sa ganong heritage natin. At sa palagi ko makikita nga yung halaga ng tubig sa ganito pa lang, no, sa very surface level na yung pagpapangalan sa iba't ibang aspekto ng kultura na may kinalaman sa tubig, sa pangingisda, paglalayag, mga tipo ng bangka, at yung mga uri din ng mga anyong tubig. Hindi ako masyado familiar dun sa, may mga ilan pero hindi ko na maalala ngayon, yung mga kasabihan, kawikaan. Pero I'm sure meron, hindi ko lang sila mahugot agad ngayon sa isip ko. Salamat po.
Sa amin dalawa, hindi ako magsa-stand-up comedy pero sa amin dalawa si Lof talaga yung mas dalubhasa. Siya yung yung mga sinusulat niya ay talagang may attempt talaga at research at historiography, tas talagang nilulusong niya yung ganong karagatan ng kaalaman. Ako naman parang mapapansin din dun sa tula ko na parang mas interested ako sa I guess, mga urban, contemporary, at mga mundane na everyday phenomenon na pwedeng eventually, in the future, baka maging fragments na lang of forgotten history. So, for example, parang ang curious ako sa tubig ay paano may mga salita tayo ngayon na parang very everyday, pero might not have existed like 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago na phenomenon. So halimbawa, malakas ako minom ng tubig. Tapos, twice every week, umu-order ako ng isang galon, yung kulay blue. Tapos parang interested ako sa ganung mga bagay na bakit kailangan kulay blue? Yung galon ng tubig. Para alam kong tubig. Kaya minsan, nasa-shock ako pag yung i-deliver, green. So parang ako. Tapos yung ganun, so sobrang lakas ko uminom ng tubig. To the point na yung nagdadala ng tubig, kasi ite-text ko, Kuya, pwede po bang padala ng tubig? Bayaran ko na ng GCash, ganyan-ganyan. Tuwing dadalhin niya, umabot sa point na sasabihan niya ako, mag-isa ako sasabihan niya ako, Sir, lakas niyo magtubig Kasi pangalawang order ko na ng galon in the week. Tapos parang ako, common phenomenon to ngayon. Pero parang yung ganitong feeling ng nag-order ng tubig via text, binabayaran sa GCash, parang sobrang iba ng karanasan, like 50, 100 years ago. And interested ako paano in the future, like 50, 100 years from now, parang magiging curiosity na lang, magiging trivia na lang na, alam nyo ba, dati umu-order sila ng tubig, gagamit sila ng makalumang teknolohiya na tinatawag na smartphone, tapos magte-text lang sila sa Viber, sa isang defunct messaging app na pangalan ay Viber, para dalhin yung tubig. And imagine yung gano'n ka-absurd pag if someone from like 100 years ago would hear na ganito nila kinukuha yung tubig. Dine-deliver sa mga kulay blue na plastic na galon. So yung mga ganun stuff yun na interest ako. At yun yung mga pinagninilayan ko sa mga tula ko. Kaya parang tingin ko natutuwa ako pag naging yun yung focus nung sinusulat ko. At kaya din halimbawa dun sa tula tungkol dun sa near-death experience. So nangyari talaga yon sa may LRT Santolan, nung Undoy. Talaga nahulog ako sa kanal, unfortunately. Tapos, hindi ko napansin kasi. Tapos, ano yun may tao sa waiting shed. Buti na lang may tao sa waiting shed kasi lumubog ako 2 times. Feeling cool pa ako, naka-earphones pa ako habang lumusong sa baha. Parang tanga. So anyway, buti na lang may tao sa waiting shed na humugot sa akin. Tapos parang lagi kong replay yung memory na yun kasi parang kung walang waiting shed, kung walang tao na nakahintay na, statistic lang ako sa parang Ondoy casualties. Tapos yung ganong feeling na parang, hindi naman ako yung unang taong binaha. At hindi rin ako yung huling taong babahain. Pero parang at certain points in my life, nagre-reflect ako na parang, ako lang ba yung tanga na nag-earphones tas tinry lumusong sa baha para pumunta ng SM Marikina nung panahon ng Ondoy. At parang yung ganung mga thing, parang absurd lang siya, pero parang hindi natin maitatanggi na parang bahagi rin siya ng isang kasaysayan, bahagi rin siya ng kasaysayan ng tubig, at kasaysayan ng mga karaniwan tao. No, na parang might look absurd, might look na parang chika lang, for everyone else. Pero parang, you never know, baka 50, 100 years from now, parang, ano rin siya, parang telling din siya of like, what this world that we lived in looked like and how it will reflect on the future. So yan.
Actually, nabanggit ni Pao na baka ma-obsolete yung pag-order ng jerrycan ng tubig. Pero actually sa Palawan, nag-iigib pa kami sa balon. O nag-iipon ng tubig ulan, lalo na sa mga isla. Naka-on ba tayo? So ayun, may naalala lang ako mga salita na gusto ko ibahagi. Halimbawa, alam ba natin yung Tagalog ng coral reef? So hindi. Gasang yung Tagalog ng coral. Ang corales, yung soft coral, sagay, yun yung tawag sa kanya. Yung edge ng reef, yung biglang lalim, tawag doon kantilado. Yung phenomenon na biglang uulan sa dagat na parang binabagyo ka. Ang tawag sa English squall. Ang tawag sa amin sa Palawan, subasco. So ang yaman-yaman ng vocabulary natin sa mga ganun. At balang araw siguro pati si si Jerry Can. bahagi na nung parlance natin. I mean, pati nga yung gripo, di ba? Gigripuhan kita, bahagi na yun ng karaniwang kahit na hindi tubig yung lalabas. Palakpakan po natin si Paolo Tiao.
Palapakin din natin si Low Fonte.
If I may, kung mamarapatin nyo, and ako magbabahagi lang, hindi bilang dalubhasa, kundi bilang matanda. Kasi nung sinabi mo nga na ang dami nating mga pangalan sa mga, ako hanggang sapa lang siguro kaya kong pangalanan, di ba? Dagat, ilog, tas paliit na paliit, siguro hanggang sapa. Tas may nabanggit ka pang mga ibang mga termino na siguro habang lumiliit pa yan o nagpupunta sa iba-ibang sulok, may iba pa tayong pangalan dyan. Pero may peligro lang, ito yung punto ko, may peligro sa nakakalimutan natin yung mga sarili nating katagapan, sarili nating mga pangalan. Halimbawa doon, bilang periodista, taon-taon maririnig nyo na balita yan pagka bumagyo. Binabantayan ng Tumana sa Marikina. And we refer to Tumana as a barangay in Marikina dahil nagbabaha parate. But I remember this from college when I realized this, nung tuwing mag-i-immersion kami sa iba-ibang lugar, bawat barangay sa Pilipinas, basta may katabing tubig yan, meron silang tinatawag na Tumana. Diba? So nakalimutan natin na hindi yan lugar sa Marikina. It is a river feature. If I'm not mistaken, it refers not even to a river bank. It refers to, I think, a river delta. Diba? So the fact na hinayaan nating magtayo ng village sa Tumana, sa Marikina, at every year binabantayan natin, that is actually a function of us forgetting na, ba't kayo nagtayo ng village dyan? Tumana nga yan. And had we understood that words are ultimately a collection of our wisdom, that if we forget that, we're actually forgetting the wisdom of huwag ka magtatayo sa Tumana, among other things.
Salamat po. O nga po na, actually naalala ko nga kanina, parang yun po yung term na inaalala ko kanina, yung Tumana, kasi nga maganda siyang trivia sa mga siguro architecture students.
Thank you kay Paolo and kay Ralph. So, and also for the insights of our audience. Wala na ba? Kasi, ayun, from LaSalle and our Department of Tourism friend, Sir Dennis.
Thank you. My name is Dennis. I'm the accredited tour guide from the Department of Tourism. I'm also a historian, and anyway, that's a past life. So, I just wanted to point out, Paolo tells us, yes, water delivery is not a new development. Alfonso Carriedo y Peredo was the person responsible for laying down the foundations of Manila's waterworks system in 1872. But prior to that, Manila had water delivery. They were called aguadores. And they would store water in buho. Alam niyo yung buho, yung malalaking kawayan? They would store water there and they would deliver the water to households as well. So this is something that I would urge everybody in this room to visit El Deposito in San Juan. You would learn a lot from there. And also, El Deposito. And also, I'm not sure if you're related to Carlo Magno. Tiausas.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Good painter. So he comes from an artistic family. Later we'll talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gino. I am a full-time student again. I represent LaSalle, Singapore. I have two questions, but before the questions, please forgive me because I didn't understand more than half of your sharing. And that made me honestly ashamed, but at the same time proud that we are diversified. Yeah, you're unique in your own way. I'm unique also in my own way. I want to know what inspired you to write about water. your personal reasons, your burdens also, and at the same time, your creative process. Because as an artist, you want to stay true to your artistry, but at the same time, you want to connect to the modern audience, mga Filipinos, no? So your dilemmas in choosing your words, di ba? So yun, the reason for talking about water and your creative process. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Actually, I've been to Lasal, Singapore, right? So I've been there before. 2018, I went to the Lit Up Southeast Asian Poetry Festival for Youth or something like that. So you have a very wonderful campus. Anyway,
It's not mine.
okay.
I wish it was mine.
Let us know if you acquire it. So anyway, why water? Honestly, before I didn't really write much about water other than the usual. Oh, it's raining. Let's talk about Manila in the rain, stuff like that. But since moving so I'm based in Palawan now. My father's side of the family actually came from Palawan, so I went back to Palawan. But living in Palawan now, it's everywhere all the time. Like I can't leave the municipality without crossing water, no, either on a boat or trying to swim and maybe drowning. Pero so the water is the ever-present thing in on the island, right? So salt water, fresh water, well water, rain. So it's always there. So recently I've been writing more and more about water and the things in water and how we interact with it. But this piece, I wrote it. I like writing about sea creatures because I'm also a diver. So I do free diving, I do scuba diving, and whenever it's just really a strange and wonderful world underwater where sound is muted and color is also muted. But the things there, the creatures there is just so beautiful. And it's just sad how a lot of these creatures are at the brink of extinction. So I a lot of the themes that run through my poetry is eco poetry, extinction, the Anthropocene, no, the anthropocentric impact on the environment. And so all of these things, plus my immediate realities of the sea, have been pushing me to write more and more about water, especially the sea. And as for my creative process, how do I choose words? Honestly, a lot of people would call me purist, but I'm really not because I look at poetry as akin to music, and I want to create music with the words I choose. And so I try my best to maintain the musicality in as native a form of Tagalog as I possibly can. Because I don't like the sound of you're talking in Tagalog. But this is just me, this is in no way prescriptive. But like in my own writing, if I write it in Tagalog and then I pepper it with English loanwords, it's not the type of poetry that I would like myself to be writing. Of course, I enjoy a lot of poetry like that, but for me, whenever I choose my words, I try my best to balance between understandable and musical in an indigenous Filipino way. And so a lot of my works in poetry in Filipino are, I would admit, kind of hard to understand if you're not that adept in the language. But I also write in English. And I think, I also write in Kuyunon now, which is my father's indigenous language. And so that strain of trying to evoke a certain musicality in the language is how I choose my words. But of course, the words are subordinate to the feeling, to the vision, to the image that you want to portray in the poem. So usually I start with an image or a concept. Like, do you know 52? There's a whale called 52. They were mourning the death of their kid, of their calf, for like more than a month. And they were pushing around the calf across the seas. So that's a striking image, right? So usually I start with that, and then the words come after. And then you polish, and then eventually, hopefully, you perform the poem. So anyway, I hope that kind of answers the question. I'm sorry for the long response. So I turn it over to Paolo.
So,
Why did I start writing about water? So if you ask a writer why he writes about why they write about certain things, you're going to get different answers depending on what year or what month you ask them and the time of day. Because usually, Loaf and I are similar in this way. We pursue like certain projects for like years and then move on to another one. So actually, my first collection that was published by UP Press was purely about loneliness. Wow. It's purely about loneliness. And I remember a poem there that heavily featured water, and the final image was that it was starting to rain. And since the person of that poem was at a loss, he felt that the rain was like writing endless ellipses on the ground. So that's how water appeared in that collection. My second collection, the one that's published by Ateneo Press, is called Angas. So it's a Filipino word about like, I guess, swagger, yabang. And I remember very specifically looking at an old dictionary at whether the word angas exists in the 1500s, 1600s, 16th century, and it does. And the definition of it there was mayabang lumakad. So I can't do it. So, and that poetry collection was about
Mayayabang lumakad.
Was about men and the patriarchy. Was about toxic masculinity. So there are some water poems there. If I remember, the final poem is about like waiting in the middle of the eye of the storm. The title of the poem is Habang Buhay sa Mata ng Bagyo. And the most featured water image there was the way that water would flow down in car windows when you're cleaning the car. Not hindi yung the usual poetic image na parang you're in a bus and you're seeing the raindrops flow by. As in when you're cleaning a car, when it's in the car wash. So that's how water appeared there. And for the two poems that I performed earlier, this was part of an ongoing collection, an ongoing manuscript that I started writing last year in Kyoto. I was a fellow for the Kyoto Writers Residency. And initially, my pitch for that residency was about laughter, specifically Filipino laughter, the specific kind of laughter that we had. And I went into the residency like collecting like different phrases about laughter. Parang nakuha pang tumawa, inuna pa ang tawa, iyak tawa, all those different phrases that we use about laughter. And yet when I got there, I couldn't write. So that was a whole month that I really had to come up with something. But I couldn't write. So I was trying to reflect on how the problem was, and this is how writers think, the problem was I couldn't connect the laughter to anything. Until I met my co-fellows there. They were all from different countries, from European countries. And I think it's very true that one of the most iconic images of Filipino-ness for the rest of the world is the unstoppable smile, the resilient smile while, being flooded. And that got me to thinking, okay, maybe I can start with water. Maybe I can start with the floods. So that collection is actually it's like a speculative collection. What if like Filipinos were not supposed to survive? What if there was this mythical Noah's Ark, and in this version, whoever God was there said na Filipinos are not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be left behind with the destruction of the rest of the world. So that's why I have the poem about, the personal poem about Baha ng Muling Pagkabuhay. So my experience about water. And then Ilog Pasig, trying to see like how else can water connect to our mythology, connect to our collective psyche, how do we interact with it, how do we interface with it, how do we see it. So water like appears in different ways depending on what projects you're pursuing. And very quickly about the creative process, I don't know, it's hard. For me, my personal creative belief is that I have to write something that I find fun. So there's really nothing more to it. I find it fun to like, in contrast with loaf, I find it fun. I can like pepper in those English words and like very quickly transition to like very formal Tagalog na parang pinagsasama mo lahat ng to. And sa akin, that's just, I guess, who I am. So I think the poetry has to reflect who I am, and that's how it happens. Thank you.
Thank you again to both of you. Before you have take a seat, we'd like to show our appreciation, a very small token from the foundation. Thank you ulit, Paolo and Ralph. Nandito pa po sila, hindi sila. Over coffee and pastries, please continue the chat and the conversations. Thank you. So before we end, syempre, the usual summary of some of the reflections. So hopefully this resonates with all of you. Today's forum leaves us with a deeper appreciation for the many ways water flows through our lives. Not only as a natural force, but as a source of identity, tradition, and meaning. So the graceful movements of our dancers hopefully revealed how water lives in ritual and memory. The video of our awardee, Dr. Karma Phuntso, hopefully gave you or showed you how communities, culture, and conservation are interwoven in Bhutan's highlands, which is very applicable to ours. And through the evocation words of two of our poets, Paula and Ralph, we were reminded that water also holds our struggles, dreams, and truths, echoing through floods, rivers, and the stories we pass on. So, may we carry forward the call to honor water, not only as a resource to protect, but as a living thread that connects us to our heritage and earth. Thank you again for your presence this morning. And again, if I may, ano yung hindi nangyari dito ngayon? So may sumayaw, may nag-video at nagkwento, merong nag-poetry reading. Yes. So I'd like to call on Danny, one of my colleagues, and Jace. Hindi sila ang kakanta, magli-lead lang sila. Tayong lahat ang kakanta. Okay? So Danny is from the UP Manila Chorale, also my staff. So halina. This is just a fun part. So I hope, I don't know if you wanna stand, you wanna sway, you wanna dance to the music. Please, Nino, Danny, and Jace, help us sing.
We'd also like to invite Miss Helen Sado.
Okay, Helen! From our research team.
Let's go.
Unti-unting bumabatak sa mga halaman, mga bulaklak. Guys, please, let's sing! Miss Isay?
Pilitin mo ako. Okay. On the spot. Paligid tuwing umuulan.
Sino pa po gusto kumanta? May isang mic pa po.
Kasabay ng ulan, bumubuho sa iyong ganda. Kasabay ng hangin kumakanta. Maaari huwag ka na sa piling ko'y lumisan pa. Hangin ulay tumila na.
Everybody!
Buhos na ulan na aking mundo'y lumuyan tuluyan. Bulag ng pag-agos mo, di mapipigil ang puso ko. Nagliliyap, pag-ibig ko'y umaapaw, damdamin ko'y humihiyaw sa tuwa. Tuwing umuulan at kapiling ka. Galing! Sige po! Ang ulan, unti-unting tumitila.
Parang arm up ulit.
Magpapaalam na. Hanggang minsan pa, mahakan ka't maiduyan pa. Wala lamang ang saksi. Buhos na ulan, bumuhos ka. Huwag na tumigil pa. Hatid mo may bagyo, dalangin ito ng puso ko. Sumasabog, pag-ibig ko'y umaapaw, damdamin ko'y humihiyaw sa tuwa. Tuwing umuulan at kapiling ka.
Baka guess nyo rin po si Regine Velasquez. Let's welcome!
May bang minsan pa, mahakang ka't may duyan pa, at ulan lamang ang saksi. Buhos na ulan, aking mundo'y lunuring tuluyan. Walang pag-agos mo, di mapipigil ang puso ko. Nag-iiyak, pag-ibig ko'y umaapaw, damdamin ko'y humihiyaw sa tuwa. Tuwing umuulan at kapiling ka, minsan pa ulan, bumuhos ka. Huwag nang tumigil pa. Hatid mo may bagyo, dalangin ito ang puso ko. Sumasabog, pag-ibig ko'y umaapaw, damdamin ko'y humihiyaw sa tuwa. Tuwing umuulan at kapiling ka.
Thank you! Clap for yourselves and for everyone. Salamat po. Coffee and pastries, and let's continue the conversation. Salamat. Simone?
The Fairwater Manila exhibit is open to the public during museum hours and can be found on the second floor of the Ayala Museum. The Fairwater Talks will run every Saturday until August 16. We invite you to our next talk on July 12 for fair sharing of water. Water for All, featuring Mr. Auka Idzenga, founder of Alternative Indigenous Development Foundation, 2011 Ramon Magsaysay awardee from the Philippines. We would also like to invite you to A Quartist, a children's drawing contest, an event of Fairwater exhibit. Mechanics for the contest can be found at the registration table. Please follow at Fairwater MNL on Instagram and Facebook to stay updated on the exhibit and programs. I invite our dear audience to watch this video from the Fairwater Manila team.
You drink it, you cook with it, you use it every day. But for 1 in 4 people, clean water isn't on tap. Instead, it's a long walk, a heavy load, a health risk. As cities grow, water sources shrink, rivers run dry, wells go deeper, and unpredictable floods, droughts, and storms are hitting hardest when life is already tough. Everyone is affected, but those with the least lose the most. It's time for us to act and to listen to science, to nature, and to the voices of those living in scarcity. The Fairwater exhibit shows how each of us, like a single drop, can ripple outward and become waves of change. Discover research, expert talks, powerful stories and artworks that will inspire action towards a fair water future. Fair water? Let's make it a reality. Visit the free exhibit at Ayala Museum from May 28 to August 28, 2025.
Thank you all for being a part of Water and Culture. Let's continue to be stewards of water, champions of innovation, and agents of resilience in our cities and communities. As we transition to the next part of our event, we invite you to explore the Fair Water exhibit on the second floor. Please wait for our ushers to guide you to the exhibit. In the meantime, please answer the feedback form accessible through the QR code on the screen. To keep updated on our latest activities, visit our website at rmaward.asia or follow us on social media at Magsaysay Award. You can also visit the social media sites for the Fairwater Manila exhibit at FairwaterMNL and the microsite fairwatermnl.com. Thank you and have a good day.